Hey everyone, Admiral Prince Eric, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're gonna show a topic about the latest World Warships DevBlog post was accordingly back on the at the end of the weekdays. No, so I did watch right now for the Twitch live stream so far, but I can't wait to show about this read on last time at Friday morning before I went to work. So before I'm getting starting on, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell on the notification icon. So I will post my World of Warships content in any order for now. So let's get started right now. So here it goes. So I'm gonna read on it entirely. Okay, so let's get started about something close test. There are upcoming early access in the future took place in the second quarter of 2024. Comes for a new French destroyers. Okay, so it was posted on March 6th about 2 a.m. midnight. In the future update, we plan to add a new destroyer branch to the French tech tree, which is going to be another one of the French tech tree aside for the French top tier is going to be Kleber. To celebrate this announcement, we are hosting a community camouflage contest where players will have opportunity to sign a permanent camouflage for tier 7 Lee Hardy. Show your creativity and get a chance to earn valuable rewards such as containers that are guaranteed to drop premium ships. Of course, the winning design will be added to the game, which is going to be in future. You can find more details in here. But as of now, the contest is ongoing, so the voting will be here on possibly for my birthday, and ends the voting right now show on March 25. Okay, 6 new ships will enter the game for super testing: Eladroid, Nushafalt, Lee Hardy, Venturier, Orage, and Cassad. The ship will be armed with main battery guns with calibers ranging from 120 to 130 millimeters. Okay, so this is gonna be the same main armaments goes on the French destroyers until they reach top tier Kleber. Now, this time will be as follows. The tier 5 will have 4 single guns in the traditional composition. Tier 6 will have 2 twin turrets, one of each end of the hull and 1 single turret in the middle. Okay, and from tier 7 to the top tier will all have 3 twin turrets with 1 in the front and 2 in the aft part of the ship. As for torpedoes, these ships will have the following configurations. Tiers 5 to 6 are 2 triple tube torpedo launchers. Tier 7 is the 1 triple tube and 2 twin tube launchers. And tier 8 and 9 are using 3 triple tube launchers. For the top tier is going to be 4 triple tube launchers. Please note that the branch is currently under development, which is going to be a super testing stage. So the ship models are still not finalized and the gameplay with detailed technical characteristics will be described in later publications. Okay, so I'm going to topic about the ships coming from real history ships comes from. Okay, so let's get started. Now, the tier 5 French destroyer Droid, meaning the skillful one. The Droid class destroyers represented an evolution of Bolas class, which is the lead ship of the Droid class destroyers of the French Navy, also known as Marine Nationale. The lead destroyer was constructed in Dunkirk and named in honor of one of the ships under the command of Jean Bart, a renowned Duncan privateer and naval officer. Having participated in the early operations of the Second World War, but the ship met her fate on May 21, 1940, near her hometown during the Allied evacuation forces from the French coast, which means at the time was on the Battle of France, which was a Dunkirk evacuation. So the ship appearance will be like now will be look forward to that. So in the next step block. Next one is a French destroyer Duchefort, the tier 6. Okay, so what counts the French destroyer Duchefort? It counts from a member of the Aviator class destroyer, Batch B, which means, it comes from a member of Soldati class destroyers like the Aviator that recognize. It was come from a Batch B. It was from Italian destroyer Legionario. So it was come from Reggio Marina, some Royal Italian Navy. Throughout the Second World War, the destroyer played a role in military campaigns in the Mediterranean. After the war in 1948, the ship was transferred to France as part of war reparations and renamed to Chaffaut in tribute to the esteemed 18th century French naval commander. However, the destroyer served with the French Navy, known as Marine Nationale, until she was decommissioned throughout the 1950s. So, the Chaffaut is common from a terms. It looks like a Soldati class destroyer, no? So, likewise, I said the appearance will be held on in the future devblogs. We'll be looking forward to it. Okay, the next one's a Tier 7 French destroyer Le Hardy, meaning the bold one. As the lead ship of the Le Hardy class destroyer that I recognize it is, but as the last destroyer of the Marine Nationale prior before the Second World War began. In total of the 12 of these ships in the class was laid down in the late 1930s, were to become a pinnacle of technological advancement for the time in the French Navy. The lead vessel, Le Hardy, was commissioned June 1940, shortly before French capitulation, and she didn't play any significant role in wartime operations. However, on November 27, 1942, the ship crew scuttled her in Toulon to prevent capture by the Germans. Sadly, that Le Hardy was supposed to be joining up the Free French Naval Forces at the time, but Le Hardy was in service in the Vichy French Navy at the time. Unfortunately, the Le Hardy was one of the only ships to be scuttled at Toulon that was a badly big but a devastation of the French Navy at the time. So ships would like eventually go in defection to the Free French Naval Forces at the time. Okay, so Le Hardy, well, is a pinnacle of the evolution, like a similar contrast to the Mogador class destroyers. Well, as usual, the finally goes on the appearance, but it looks like some kind of main battery. They are using the French Mogador guns. Okay, I better notice how recognizable. Some of the unrecognizable member of the Le Hardy class destroyers is the El Optimimatre, which was captured by the Germans as CF6, becoming a Tier 9 in the game as a destroyer that features comes from the Darken event back in 2021, with the duration of the German destroyers on early access. Okay, so let's move on. Now, the French destroyer Le Aventurier, a Tier 8, an advancement beyond the Le Hardy class and Project 1938 based ships, featuring a larger dimensions and distinct torpedo armament. The ship inherited her name, which translates to adventurer in French, from an incomplete Le Hardy class destroyer. So unfortunately, this is a hypothetical one, and a member of the Le Hardy class destroyer, but unfortunately in this picture for this devblog for now, we'll have to wait for some time for the next devblog. Alright, so the next one is the French destroyer Orage, a Tier 9. Basically, it's based on the theoretical design serving as a precursor of the famous 347 class series of destroyers. Naming ships Orage, which translates to storm in French, has been a long-standing tradition in France since the late 17th century. One of the ships bearing this name was a member of the Bourras class destroyer, but tragically lost during the operation at Dunkirk in May 1940. So this is ship looks like, but it's consistently the pre-evolutionary T-47 class destroyers at the time. Now, finally comes for the top tier the French destroyer, a competitive au Kleber, Cassard. Well, as usual in history was a T-47 class destroyers, which means a Surkov class destroyers, representing the first series of destroyers built for the French Navy after the Second World War. Cassard, named after the famous French naval officer and privateer Jacques Cassard, commenced in active service in 1956. The warship played a role in international operations linked to the Suez Crisis, consistently served as a flagship of various fleet formations throughout her two-decade history of duty in the French Navy. Okay, so Kasard is a member of the famous, well-known T-47 class destroyers, known to be a Surkov class destroyers, as I recognize that. Okay, so what does it mean? This is going to be a competitive like the Kleber. As usual, these main elements, what it looks like, so this is going to be modernized. Although Kasard was entered service on the French Navy since in the 1950s, only members of the T-47 class destroyers throughout was decommissioned in 1980s. Only one surviving ship of the T-47 class destroyer, Maire Bresse, which is still preserved as a museum ship right at the time. So, unfortunately, we don't have any details. I don't have any details for now. The consumables of the upcoming French Tech 3 destroyers. Likely wise about the Marceau. Her consumables is gonna be the upcoming French destroyers. Usually the role of the engine boost consumable, but it has no smoke. But I hope so. The upcoming French Tech 3 destroyer will be used the smoke generator. And as quiet as possibly for now is the main battery little booster consumable or a defensive AV fire. So technically I will look forward in the next devblog for more information of the French destroyers at the time. So stay tuned for that, we'll be look forward. Okay, so the next one, new ships close test 30.3 will be posted on Thursday in the morning at 7:59. Captains, in update 13.3, two new ships will be entry on testing. A fighting Pan-Asian cruiser and a fierce American destroyer with a fighting reputation. Read on for details. Okay, the top tier of Pan-Asian cruiser Incheon, which is named after the city in the South Korea. An alternative design for the heavy cruiser equipped with rapid fighting artillery developed in the US in the 1940s. Had she been implemented in metal, the ship could have joined the Republic of Korea Navy in the 1950s. She was named after the city of Incheon, one of the most important ports in the country. Branding characteristics from both US heavy cruisers and Pan-Asian cruisers. Artillery enthusiasts are sure to enjoy Incheon. Her main battery of four 203mm auto-loading turrets give her excellent damage output with both high penetration HE shells and AP shells with improved ricochet angles. Her concealment and short cooldown Pan-Asian smoke generator will allow her to play aggressively and create her own cover, while access to deep water torpedoes and a torpedo wheeler booster with similar characteristics to those found on Gina will help deter enemies from getting too close. However, the low number of tools will make this more of a supplement to her main battery. Incheon shares typical weaknesses with those of her Tech 3 sisters, a lack of hydroacoustic search and no surveillance radar, with limited options for dealing with enemy destroyers, while poor ballistics, short range, and bad turret angles will make open water combat difficult. In our gameplay, captains will want to use Incheon's concealment and smoke generator to take good positions and put her main battery to work. Enemy battleships will be her primary target, but the spotting support from her teammates. Incheon will also engage in favorable trades with enemy cruisers and destroyers. Be wary of finding yourself alone and make sure to keep an eye on enemy radar equipped ships. Spotted at the opportune time, Incheon may quickly find herself in severe danger of being sunk. The permanent camouflage for Incheon is still a work in progress. The specifications for the top tier Incheon. The hit points is going to be 48,600, plating 25mm, fire duration 30 seconds, torpedo protection 16%. Main battery consists 4x2, 203. The firing range is about 16.1 kilometers. HE shell is 2,800. AP shell damage 5,000. Reload time is about 6 seconds. The maximum dispersion 144 meters. 180 degree turn time is about 30 seconds. And the sigma is going to be 2.05. Torpedo tubes is going to be used 2x4 530mm on sides, equipped with deep water torpedoes that cannot hit the destroyers and submarines. Decimal damage 17,900, range 30.5 kilometers, speed is 69 knots, reload time 125 seconds. Launcher 180-degree turn time 7.2 seconds. Torpedo detectability 0.8 kilometers. The maximum speed consists 33 knots, turning circle radius 800 meters, rudder shift time 11.2 seconds, surface detectability 13.8 kilometers, air detectability 8 kilometers, and detectability after firing main guns and smoke 8.5 kilometers. We got some consumables are the following. The first slot, damage control party, is going to be unlimited. The second slot is to occupy the smoke generator, which is what's supposed to use the hand-nature Tech 3 ships. In the third slot, using defensive aim fire. The fourth slot, torpedo reload booster. Finally, the fifth slot is repair party. Gains the restore your ship's HP pool around at the time. Now, the next one is American destroyer Johnston. A member of the Fletcher-class destroyer that commenced her naval service in October 1943. The ship bears the name of the Union Navy Lieutenant John W. Johnston, a distinguished hero of the American Civil War. Despite only brief combat service, USS Johnston engaged in numerous military campaigns that unfolded in the Pacific theater. The warship met her demise shrouded in glory during a fierce confrontation with a Japanese squadron under the command of battleship Yamato during the Battle of Sama on October 25, 1944. Johnston isn't just another Fletcher, reflecting her fierce spirit. Johnston's main battery of 5 127mm guns will be supplemented with a burst fire mode and sap shells. Combined with her good concealment, this will make her extremely deadly in short engagements with enemy destroyers. Her burst fire is somewhat unique is that Johnston will actually put 1 more damage per minute in this mode than firing normally. Captains will expect load of 10 torpedoes with characteristics similar to Gearing's that will punch out to extreme range, albeit on the very low reload. Rounding out her arsenal are the engine boosts and defensive aim-fire consumables typically found on other US destroyers, occupying the same slot. Turns and play style. Johnston will favor getting up close and personal with enemy destroyers and making quick water depth with SAB and burst fire. Aim will be the key. If a burst is missed, Johnston's damage output will suffer, so captains may wish to use her normal fighting role to adjust their aim beforehand. Her long-duration American smoke generator and long-range torpedoes will allow her to put out damage on larger targets from safety as well. But of course, the caution must be exercised when dealing with enemy surveillance radar. The model for Johnston is still in development, so for testing purposes, we are using another ship, Frank Friday, will set the identical for Johnston. Hit points is going to be the same hit points like from the Fletcher class, plating 19mm. The HE shell damage about 1,800. AP shell damage is about 2,500. Okay, so the torpedo tubes is going to be the 533mm on sides. The damage is about 70,900. Speed 30.0. Speed of the torpedo 35.0 speed. So the reload time 4.5 seconds. The maximum dispersion 109 meters. 180-degree turn time 5.3 seconds. The sigma is going to be 2. Okay, so available consumables are the following. The first slot, damage control party, is going to be unlimited. Second slot, the smoke generator. Third one is the carrier. Man, I really don't like the right aircraft carrier for the moment. Sorry. In the third slot, which is used on either the engine boost and defensive aim fire. All stats are listed without crew and upgrade modifiers. The stats are subject to change during the testing. Okay, so the last one is going to be Wisconsin at the dockyard, asymmetric battles return, and more. Close test 30.3 was posted on yesterday at about 3 a.m. Ahoy, Captains! We're so excited to share some additions and changes that are entering the game with Update 30.3. Come along with us as we explore a new dockyard, see the return of a fan favorite game mode, and check out a number of other improvements. Okay, so let's get started about this. Okay, so the first dockyard event taking place in 2024 is gonna be a Wisconsin. Wisconsin is a member of the Iowa class Warships that was honored after the 48th State of the Union. Okay, so Dockyard, Wisconsin. Big Whiskey has finally made its way into our virtual seas. That's right, 13.3 brings along a new dockyard to host the construction of the top tier Wisconsin. So here's the deal. This is going to be 30 places dockyard, where 28 of those places can be completed by dockyard combat mission groups. You can read that, right? Only 2 players will need to be bought if you put in the battles to get Big Whiskey. You were able to consume meter. Okay, you'll be able to complete these missions all the way through updates 30.3 and the remaining update 30.4, with the dockyard itself remaining open until the start of 30.6. Okay, let's head on for the top tier. Sorry, the good news doesn't stop there. Getting the stage 20 of the dockyard will meet you a West Virginia 44. Who might have missed out on her last summer. Now's your chance to get your hands on those event sweet secondaries. Okay, so West Virginia 44 was made it introduced last year. Next, asymmetric battles. So you're telling us you like asymmetric battles, huh? Well, good news. We decided to bring it back for update 30.3. Although I ever played the asymmetric battles gonna be the Wallet. Okay, we're going to keep it exactly the same as for the last time with the following parameters. You can play tier 6 and 10 ships, which includes super ships. There will be 5 ships to a team on the player side. The maximum difference in tiers between the ships are bounded 1. Okay, there will be 5 ships to team on the player side. The maximum difference of tiers between the ships is limited to 1 tier. You can play whatever ship type floats your boat. And you can also divisions up with up to 5 players with the following limitations. 1 aircraft carrier, up to 2 battleships, up to 2 cruisers, up to 2 destroyers, include 1 submarine. As for the boss, they continue to be a team of 12 ships that are 2 tiers lower than each tier represented on the player team. This means if you're rocking a team that he has tier 9 and 10 ships in it, expect to see bots that are tier 7 and 8. So we'll all look forward to this. Okay, so the last time the asymmetric battles took place in update 12.10. Content additions and changes lightning round. We're gonna a few changes and additions below for you to peruse and enjoy at our own leisure. No one likes being DMCAD. It means DMCA is Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So we added a special setting for streamers that allows them to disable licensed music in the game client and have the default music instead. Now for the top tier. Okay, keeping count on your containers for guaranteed drops is also a bit challenging. So we added a guaranteed drop container in our country. Okay, we're temporarily testing out a new concept. A permanent camouflage that adds a custom animation. So we are introducing the Suprematism Permanent Camouflage. Essentially, a player could equip this camouflage to a ship of their choosing, and the enemy ships destroyed by this ship would have a unique animation upon destruction. Players will be able to get one of these camouflages for free in update 12.3. Here are some the suprematism camouflage, as well as some the animations. Great word for that for the art. We added several Golden Week items to the game. Tikuma 2 Golden, a ship with similar parameters to the Tier 9 Japanese hybrid heavy cruiser Chikuma, but with a unique appearance. The appearance of the ship is still a work in progress and will be revealed on later. Now for the Golden Week permanent camouflage for the Mogami, Commander Ashikaga Teru, and the Samurai's Pride flag. We also geared up for the Warship Masters tournament and made the following additions: the Warship Masters 2024 flag and the Warship Masters 2024 finalist achievement. Now added on the back of the Orion premium container that gives you a chance to get Wiesbaden, a Tier 8 premium light cruiser at the time. On the back of the Orion premium cottages contents. Whew, that's a lot of content. We can't wait to see you out there on the virtual series in the next update. So I'm getting ready right now for this proposal about the top tier Wisconsin. Remember the Iowa class though? Let's gonna be sure about that. So in the future, we'd like to see up ahead the upcoming video, which is getting in captivity under Jacques Cassard. Okay, so that's it for now. That concludes for the reading out the public test. The latest World of Warships DevBlogs. So if you wanted to see the World of Warships DevBlog, links is on the description below. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell notification icons so we can find it live to do some every World of Warships content on this weekend. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you see you in my next video. Peace out guys. We look forward to this. Oh, by the way, birthday is gonna get coming for this very soon. So in my next video, which is going to be my recording myself. Okay, see you later guys.